Good evening, everybody. We're back here with another 1v1 Arabia between two top level players, and we do have in the blue Hera, and he's playing as the Portuguese, and then his enemy playing as the Sicilians, Barles. So not necessarily the go-to 1v1 Arabia civilizations, but we'll see exactly what these two players have in mind as we take a look a little bit at the maps of the players. And Hera wide open on the front. Luckily, he has back berries and back main gold, so he will likely be able to wall into the town center and protect his economy a little bit, but this is a rough map if you want to be protected at all. And then his enemy, actually with a pretty good map, Barles, walling in here pretty easy. He does have this forward gold, but that's not too bad, as he could easily wall in here or even here and get this gold for free on the back. On this side, a little bit more open. He does have the berries forward, so that causes a little bit of problems, but all things considered, I do believe that the Sicilian player of Barles will have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to the maps. And so when we take a look at what sort of things we could expect, well, what I'd love to see actually out of the Portuguese is a castle drop. I know it doesn't happen all the time, but the organ guns, fantastic units, and the Portuguese do have fairly strong archers, all things considered. And then, of course, with the Sicilians, they are one of the newer civilizations. It would be great to see a couple of the unique units and a little bit of aggression there. And oof, actually, as we mentioned, Barles almost lost a villager to that elephant, so a little bit of a misstep there, but he does save it with that de-aggro with the house, so lucky for him, but a little bit messy, not where you want to be, as he uses the town center to take out the elephant. So lucky for Barles right there, caused some delays, but did not lose that villager. He's sitting at a cool 3 HP, so protected for now, but not for long. And Hera going forward, scouting out the enemy. He does see the zebra. He will see these berries shortly if he doesn't run into the town center, that is, which actually might, no, it will not happen. So lucky there for Hera. He doesn't go straight into the town center, but could still lose a little bit as he sees the goats. He sees the town center briefly and gets that town center fire, as one goat does get found but doesn't get taken as of yet. Elephant being pulled in by Hera at the same time, and Hera choosing not to fight with the villagers in the town center, choosing instead to attack with the villagers on the ground. So a little bit of a different attack than what happens. Now we do see Barles running straight forward. Will he go straight into the town center? It's a possibility, but he turns just in time. So he spots that leg, that one lone tree, and he is a little bit safer for now. Interesting walls starting off here, but he wants to have safe gold, so that does make sense for him. Barles, of course, wanting to be able to get that gold and get it safely throughout the game. It's so important. And both players deciding to upgrade their villagers, getting loom in so that they don't have to worry about early attacks or anything, and both players are on their way to clicking up to the next age. Hera's just that much quicker by about 4 seconds. And a barracks is being dropped by Hera on the front, as we see just a house up front so far for Barles, but we'll likely see a barracks get dropped pretty quickly here, as you always want to make sure that you have the barracks already down by the time you get to the next age. Hera, of course, will have villagers on gold because he will be wanting to go for some sort of a move, and Hera just running around this town center so much. And both these players are back and forth with wins, so not necessarily guaranteed that one will beat the other, and that's what's nice, as both players could get a little bit of an advantage, as there will be militia actually out for Hera a little bit late from what I would typically expect, and it's been spotted right off the bat. So interesting choice for him to go up with some sort of military in the late Dark Age, but he's going to try and get some sort of engagement. So archery range does come up, but we do have militia on the field. I don't like the lateness of this Dark Age rush, and I do like that he's upgrading to man-at-arms, so these will be more formidable. And it will likely buy him time. I guess with the map that he was given, he's in a pretty bad spot no matter what. So maybe that's just it. He knows that he's not in the strongest situation either way. But interesting choice for him to move forward with these man-at-arms. They will be taking out this palisade, and can take out a palisade pretty quickly, as a matter of fact. But with villagers right there, that will get walled up. So nothing really of value as of yet, as we do see archers coming out of this archery range, and we already see an archer coming across for Hera, and he will have this wall in finish. So I guess at the end of the day, if the militia and man-at-arms attack does buy Hera enough time to get a safe economy behind this, that will be considered a win, because he's got such an open map and he wants to make sure that he's not falling too far behind right off the bat. Archers are coming forward. No skirmishers yet for either player. Just going for archers. A couple skirmishers added in can always add just that little bit of attack bonus against the other archers. And yes, Hera is choosing to fully wall in over here. So quite a big wall, but will force the enemy into this little corridor where he has to go by the town center. As we see, the scout made it in actually, and got a few shots off, and these villagers will be picked off at the berries. That's the thing. Having these little walls are great, but when you're up against archers, it's just difficult because you lose your villagers. And one villager down, and there goes the other one. That is a big deal this early on in the game. Hera already with a 2-villager lead, and we're just in the early feudal age. Fletching already coming in for Hera as well, so these archers will be stronger than the enemy archers, and in response there's going to be fletching as well for Barles. So both players will have fletching in, and both players will be able to engage quite well. No skirmishers yet for Barles, but also no skirmishers for Hera. Both players choosing to go fully into the archers, and the man-at-arms, I questioned it early on, but obviously that's why I'm not a pro. Hera able to take out 2 different villagers with those man-at-arms and engage with the archers quite well, and both players able to micro so easily against one another just because of their great strength, that they are so strong. And skirmisher getting added in now. We will probably see 1 or 2 more, and that'll be enough to just scare away Hera for now. As the scout will try to soak up as much as possible, but difficult to engage even with just 1 skirmisher. As Hera's doing a great job with micro in this, as a matter of fact. Hera really playing a good game, really utilizing his advantages when possible, and retreating now to play it a little bit safe and buy some time. Make sure that his economy is safe, make sure that his army is not getting wasted away. The military lead is in favor of Barles. He does have a little bit more, and he also has the reinforcements coming in right from the back of his base, but it's difficult to say because a little bit of micro can win either one of these the victory this early on. Lots of weak army for both players in this HP fight of archers and skirmishers. So what is coming out? Well, still only archers for Hera, and the wall off is getting completed for Barles, and look at how big of a space he has back here for farms, A TC here later on with this gold would be fantastic, but not to worry yet, as Hera is fully walled in, and Hera needs to be adding in a couple of skirmishers at this point, because he's scared to engage against the skirmishers of the enemy, but at the same time you don't want to be adding in too many skirmishers, as that uses up the food that you need to get up to the next age. And both players now making their way to the next age, and smartly Hera actually healing up his archers in the town center. That's something you don't see too often, but it's such a great move, as it just makes sure that the weakened army can get that much stronger. So Hera fully walled off, fully protected, fully okay, as he is much closer to clicking up to... Never mind, Barles already clicked up to the next age. I was looking at the wrong thing. Barles on the next age already. He's picked off some archers of the enemy. Second archery range coming down for Hera, and Hera's a ways away, all things considered. That was such a quick uptime that he was able to get that food. He might have bought some of it that I missed. But now Barles definitely with the advantage, as he will have the military advantage for a few, well, almost a minute. And hopefully we'll see some sort of expansion of the economy, really create a little bit of a boom and increase where possible. Only one archery range for him, but we will have two for Hera, and he's looking to mass up as much as possible. Alright, we're in a little bit of a calm before the storm. Of course, both players on their way up to the castle age, both players hoping to not fall too far behind and not do anything too risky. Barles has not been creating military while he's been on the way up. He's just creating every once in a while a skirmisher, whereas Hera is creating out of 2 archery ranges right now. Really hoping to get an advantage when he upgrades these archers into crossbowmen. But Barles in a good position right now. He takes the score lead as soon as he hits the castle age, and he knows that he needs to expand out his economy. Good town center here that will protect that wood line a little bit, but of course once you start engaging against crossbows, the crossbows can sit just out of the range of the town center and hit the wood line pretty easily anyways. And I do like this other town center protecting this stone, and also just protecting this entire side of Barles' base. As a forward siege workshop is coming up, Hera wants to go full aggression, as a stable as well is coming out. Crossbowman is already on the way in, Bodkin arrow on the way in for both of the players. Hera actually getting the upgrade quicker than the enemy, and might be able to pick off 1 or 2 villagers on this wood line. Let's see exactly how quick Barles reacts. So he does lose 1 villager, not much you can do about that, and he does get the first town watch upgrade already, so that he can see a little bit of what the enemy's doing, and he does see this siege workshop. So he will need to start thinking of a response, because the siege workshop now, with very little military and it all being skirmishers and soon to be elite skirmishers, will not be enough. Knights coming out as well for Hera. Hera is going for a full in push in 1 town center, wanting to get as aggressive as possible with it. And the enemy will have his town centers, will have his economy, and boom, and lots of stone now being collected for Barles. So we might even see a castle drop. Getting that castle up would just negate the dark, or the castle age rush of the enemy, as we have a mangonel and then a battering ram coming up behind it, and a siege workshop for Barles coming up in response. A safe economy for Hera, but he's falling behind with villager counts. And this mangonel will be enough to scare away the skirmishers and 1 archer of the enemy, as a monastery is coming up for Barles as well. And really this push needs to happen for Hera. He's pushing as much as he can. He's got this battering ram, which is just so difficult to engage against. And with this many knights, I think he's going to need more than just 1 or 2 monks. More knights are coming across the screen, and the enemy is in at this point in time. Siege Workshop is spotted by Hera. He sees that there are flags on top of it. He sees the mangonel. Will they be able to engage with one another? Not quite. So loses some HP. Hera has to run away for now, but this is a tough engagement as the mangonel is trying to get some sort of value on either side, and a little bit of a hit there on those villagers weakens them but doesn't take them out. The monk is scaring away the knights, but the battering ram is taking out houses right now, so just being a little bit of a pain point as the knights decide to run, and a mangonel goes down, but a mangonel for both players goes down. One monk is on the field trying to take out a knight. That knight's gonna go down, and that's okay for now as the mangonel takes out the mangonel of the enemy. But Hera able to take out the mangonel of Barles now, so back and forth here. I don't know if this is enough. Hera needs to continue to push. He needs to make his way into the economy, and he needs to take out this siege workshop. But there's a castle coming up in defense. This is great from Barles. Hera will have to fall back from here as he's building his second town center, but he is so far behind when it comes to economy. 12 villagers behind. The castle is up, and this army is being forced to retreat, so not a good position for Hera. Great work for Barles to keep the aggression at bay and to maintain his boom. He was able to create villagers quicker than the enemy, but now losing this town center, it will be a little bit more difficult for him to protect this one out here away from his main base, as the mangonel from Barles able to take out a couple archers, and lots of monks in response for Barles too. This might just be enough for Barles to hold off with these monks and mangonels, so it's hard to push against monks and mangonels, but at the same time, it's very difficult to micro both monks and mangonels at the same time. Lots of town centers out for Barles, as he does want to make sure that he's got the economy lead, and he does make a couple shots as a very weak mangonel, and the mangonel goes down for Barles. The town center is about to go down, and the villagers are getting picked off repairing the town center. So this is a big deal, as the villagers won't be able to actually do anything, won't be able to save themselves, but a free mangonel hit. And look at this, the knights run in. Will any be converted? Yeah, look at that, 2 conversions right away. And this actually might flip it. The monks might be enough to flip the tides of battle. The knights have been converted. The mangonels taken out. The TC barely stays up. And now Hera has to retreat with his push. Luckily, he's been booming behind this. He's added in other town centers, but there's 4 town centers for Barles and only 3 for Hera, and those 4 town centers for Barles have been producing much longer. This town center was so close to being taken out, and those monks able to turn the tides of the battle quite a bit and quite significantly as well. As a market's coming up for Hera, he wants to balance stuff out a little bit more, and he will be dropping a castle pretty shortly here. Just this group of monks and skirmishers able to scare away the enemy so easily, as the castle, what a good castle on top of this hill, able to be placed just because of these monks getting those conversions of those knights. Mangonel now forward, the skirmishers fully taken out, Mangonel for Barles taken out, but more knights being converted back and forth. Hell, even a sergeant being converted, and the castle goes up on the hill. I don't know what Hera can do in response to this. This is a great defense by Barles, And sure, we got a battering ram coming out to attack the base of the castle, but the battering ram's not going to be able to do too much against knights and a mangonel. The knights able to take out that battering ram, no problem with just a couple of hits. Hey, even the castle fire will take out that battering ram. And Hera now retreating back to his base. He's traded away some of his stone, and he doesn't have enough for a castle now, as he needed to upgrade his army. Hera now fully on the back foot, losing this entire forward, and the knights for the enemy will be able to take out this siege workshop. Once the siege workshop's done, they will take out the stable and monastery as well. Great castle placement by the Sicilian player. Barles doing a good job, and that is it. Game over.